You did not wander here by accident. Resonance braided through your days like a quiet aurora and drew you to this moment where your chest feels bright and unfamiliar, as if a veil loosened from its hidden knot. Chance has no authority here. I am Alira, Pleiadian emissary of the Seven Sisters High Council, and I speak only when authorization opens in the quantum field like a heart gate, allowing what is already yours to arrive without strain. You were cleared to receive. Tonight, the lineage you carried in amnesia begins to glow from Alcyone's clear light, not as spectacle but as remembrance, a soft return to the blueprint that makes you both tender and immeasurably courageous. Your path will clarify. By the closing breath of this transmission, you will hold a protected code and recognize a precise 72-hour sign, a gentle confirmation that your courage is no longer borrowed but native to your bones. You will feel it. For now, notice how Gaia meets you. Beloved Starseed, how the floor beneath your feet is part of the unity grid, and how the slightest willingness in your chest becomes a bridge between the Seven Sisters and the soil. You are the bridge. Your life has trained you to survive fog, yet the fog was only the condensation of veiling, the thin curtain that let your senses learn discernment, so your opening would be clean rather than chaotic. The amnesia served you. Like a seed in winter, you stayed still, gathering crystalline codes beneath the frost, so that tonight's thaw arrives not as collapse but as a measured ascension of sap, upward, simple, and exactly on time. Patience has ripened. Bring your right hand to your heart and allow a single slow breath to travel in for 5 and out for 5, letting the rhythm meet Gaia's pulse, as if you were returning a long-kept library book to light. Now whisper, "My heart is the gate, I step through." Feel how the words arrange the space inside your ribs, how the unity grid hums along your spine, and how your courage is not an effort, but a frequency that prefers coherence to argument. You are remembering. If tears rise or nothing rises, allow both, because reaction is not proof or prerequisite. Presence is, and presence is already flowing from Alcyone like a thin silver river threading your breath to the sky. Let it be simple. You may feel warmth especially at the sternum, or tingling around the crown, or a steadying weight at the soles, somatic markers that the heart portal is active and the field is calibrating to your original tone. Your body understands. Listen for a phrase, a number, a small kindness that appears unannounced, because the living library of crystalline codes prefers humility, traveling as subtlety so your sovereignty chooses rather than waits to be rescued. You are not broken. This constellation of remembrance will not require you to abandon your human life. It asks only that you allow love to inform it, because courage shaped by love does not fracture your days, it verifies them. You are safe here. As you keep breathing, picture the Pleiades above a clean horizon, 7 points like gentle sentries, and sense how one star, Alcyone, extends a filament that touches your heart and names you quietly as family. You are claimed kindly. In the moments ahead, I will release the first seal of tonight's protected code, and the field will deliver a mirror in the next 3 days, a sign matched to you by grace rather than performance. Trust what arrives. You have walked with a quiet ache that few could name, a homesickness that visits at night like soft static in the chest and blurs the edges of ordinary conversation. It felt lonely. You learned to dress that ache in competence and humor, yet beneath the costume, your nervous system scanned rooms like a lighthouse, seeking coastline that never appeared. You kept watching. At school, at work, at gatherings, you carried the sense of arriving from a direction no one else remembered, translating your heart into a language that never held all your vowels. You became fluent in hiding. Sometimes the world dimmed to grayscale, and your body moved through lists by muscle memory, while your spirit hovered inches above the crown, patient as a lantern in fog. You thought something was wrong. In sudden waves you felt numb or overbright, toggling between withdrawal and overgiving because survival programming taught you to barter authenticity for belonging and self-care for applause. You were training without knowing. The outsider feeling carved sensitivity in you, refining perception until you could hear the faint chorus of the unity grid beneath traffic, schedules, and the hum of fluorescent lights. You were sensing the real. When others called you too soft or too intense, their mirrors reported their own distance from wonder, yet your heart believed them and filed the verdict under evidence. You carried that file. Please understand, beloved Starseed, none of these symptoms declare your failure. They announce a blueprint designed to remain disguised until tonight's authorization unfolded your courage like a map. The map is readable now. Homesickness is not a defect but a compass that keeps you oriented toward Alcyone's clarity, reminding you that love is your origin and service is your favorite weather. The compass was faithful. Numbness arrived when your system exceeded its threshold for untrue environments, placing a temporary veil so your circuits would not burn while you gathered strength to choose coherence. The veil was merciful. The outsider sensation prepared you to bridge worlds, to speak human and star in the same sentence, to sit beside suffering without collapsing, and beside wonder without fleeing. You are bilingual by soul. Survival programming taught you structure, timing, and discernment, skills you now repurpose for tenderness so your courage will act as sanctuary rather than storm. You are maturing into calm power. If grief rises as you hear this, let it be the thaw after a long season, because tears often are crystalline codes liquefying into pathways where love can flow. Let them pass without story. Micro ritual now. Rest your left palm over your solar plexus and your right over your heart. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5 for a full 10-second cycle, while picturing silver blue Alcyone light rinsing your ribs. Whisper, "Crystalline truth restores me to my original tone." Notice the small releases: jaw softening, shoulders lowering, breath deepening as somatic markers that the heart portal remains active, and the unity grid is answering your signal with steadiness. Trust the markers you feel. You are not behind, and you have not missed your window, because timing intelligence guides this remembrance the way tides obey the moon and roots obey spring. Your life is still on time. When the world insists you harden to survive, remember that your design is to refine, not armor, exchanging reaction for response and urgency for cadence aligned with Gaia's breathing. Your nervous system can learn safe rhythm. The fog you endured is already thinning, and the places that once demanded smallness now reveal themselves as training halls where you practiced coherence under fluorescent constellations. You graduated quietly. Carry no argument against your tenderness into the next corridor, because tenderness is the courage that does not shout while lifting great weight and setting it down as blessing. You can carry blessing lightly. What rises next is clarity, not performance, and your path will begin to feel like a corridor of clean air, where each step sounds like your true name returning. Keep walking by feel. You are seen by family felt rather than crowded, and the pain you named is now a letter you have already opened. Its message simple and exact. You were never broken. You were always becoming. What you called failure was an initiation chamber, a precise corridor where veiling taught you to listen for truth through static until your inner compass could guide without applause. It was never punishment. The amnesia that once felt like distance from yourself was a sacred blindfold, placed so your courage would arise from choice rather than echo, training sovereignty to stand even when rooms misread your light. You were learning discernment. Consider the seed in winter, held beneath frost, not because life forgot it, but because timing is a covenant, a quiet pact that protects the first green from premature weather. You were kept for ripeness. Tonight the covenant matures, and the quantum field arranges a path that does not require battle, only alignment, a soft but exact yes that opens the heart gate without theatrics. You can trust the quiet yes. The Seven Sisters did not send you to prove worth. They sent you to remember, to translate crystalline codes into kind action, so Gaia's grid would strengthen where your feet actually stand. Your presence is architecture. When shame murmurs its old script, treat it as fog dissolving from a mirror, because the mirror was never broken, only dusted by survival's breath, while you learn to care for the glass. You are polishing, not fixing. Your lineage is not a story you perform. It is a living blueprint that breathes through your choices, calibrating your rhythm with Alcyone, until the music of coherence feels like home again. Let the music lead. The initiation is complete when you stop arguing with your sensitivity and start stewarding it. Because stewardship turns ache into message and message into service without draining your reserves. This is adult light. Stand where you are and feel the unity grid beneath the soles. Then imagine threads of silver blue weaving through your calves, steadying the knees that once trembled at thresholds you now cross easily. You are steadier than yesterday. Micro ritual now. Touch your sternum with 2 fingers. Close your eyes for 1 slow 10-second breath. and picture Alcyone above a clean horizon, sending a soft beam that meets your inhale at the heart portal. Whisper, "I remember," and return to Alcyone's clear light. Let the exhale carry any lingering argument out through the back of your ribs, leaving room for warmth to gather like sunrise that knows exactly which window is yours. Notice the warmth register. If you need evidence, allow the field to speak in its simple language, because confirmation prefers smallness that fits in a day rather than spectacle that empties the day of meaning. You will not miss it. Assignment Ascension, 72-hour window. Take a plain page and draw a column of 3 circles, then label them courage, clarity, and kindness, inviting the crystalline codes to select one for emphasis. Choose without overthinking. Place the page where you can see it, and for the next 3 days, mark a single moment daily when that quality moved through you, even if no one noticed or praised it. One moment is enough. When the 3rd mark lands, stand barefoot if possible, and thank Gaia aloud, acknowledging that your blueprint is not theoretical but embodied, and that initiation completes through ordinary doors. Give thanks out loud. Note the sign that follows within the same window, perhaps the number 7 repeating, a song from childhood, or an unexpected kindness, and record it near the circle you chose. Treat it as correspondence. If doubt returns, greet it kindly, and return to breath, because breath is the bridge that never overcharges toll, and always delivers you to the present where guidance actually lives. Cross the bridge again. The winter of hiding is giving way to precise thaw, and the first green does not apologize for arriving. It simply rises because the sun asked and the roots agreed. Your roots are agreeing now. Continue walking this corridor as if your shoulders remember the width of it, because they do, and let the world adjust around a you who no longer negotiates away the simple truth of your light. You are initiated by design. The first layer to clear is not your essence, but the dust that gathered on the crystalline mirror of your heart, the fine film from years of translating yourself into rooms that preferred smaller light. It is only dust. You dissolve illusion by tending to the mirror, not by attacking the image, letting remembrance restore accuracy, the way clear water returns a lake to sky after wind has passed. You polish, you do not fight. Begin with breath because breath is the steward of the heart gate, and choose a simple cadence 5 in, 5 out until your ribs move like tides aligning with Gaia's measured shoreline. Let rhythm choose you. When the cadence steadies, place your palm at the sternum and listen for the soft hum under bone, a tone that belongs to your blueprint and has never argued with your survival voice. That tone is home. Now bring sound to the mirror and release a quiet vowel, ah or oh, allowing the vibration to skim the dust without force, like sunlight lifting mist from a field at first light. Keep it gentle. Somatic markers may arrive: a swallow, a sigh, shoulders lowering, warmth in the chest, tingling at the brow, or tears that do not need a story to justify their arrival. Welcome each sign. If thought spirals ask for verdicts, treat them as wind moving across the lake, and return attention to the steady shoreline of breath where the quantum field meets your nervous system without drama. Return as often as needed. Illusion often masquerades as urgency, so give your body permission to slow, because slowness exposes false deadlines and reveals room where courage can take its rightful seat. You are allowed space. Next, rinse the hands in cool water and imagine Alcyone's light passing through your palms. Then sweep your fingers from collarbones to heart, as if clearing fine powder from a beloved instrument. This is a simple rite. With each sweep, say quietly what is leaving, pleasing, hiding, self-accusation, and then name what remains: truth, kindness, coherence, so your language becomes a small brush guiding the polish. Language can be a cloth. Touch the brow point with 2 fingers and draw an invisible arc to the heart, acknowledging the bridge that lets insight descend into warmth, rather than remain an idea that never reaches the ribs. Insight must land. If you feel resistance, greet it as a guard that once protected the mirror when the room was unkind, and thank it for duty while gently retiring it to rest without theatrics. Gratitude disarms resistance. Invite the unity grid to participate by picturing silver threads beneath your feet, then let those threads rise through your calves while you breathe, until steadiness replaces the old rehearsal of alertness. Steadiness is your baseline. Micro-ritual. Close your eyes for 1 10-second breath, palm to heart, and whisper the code phrase, "I am held." The unity grid sings home. Feel the phrase, "seat you." After the whisper, become quiet enough to notice the small click inside, sometimes a tiny release at the throat, sometimes a widening at the back of the heart, as the portal brightens by increments. Trust the increments. If memory arrives carrying scenes of veiling or amnesia, meet them as postcards, not quartz, and let the images drift while you remain with the present cadence, where clarity is already operative. The present is the healer. For the remainder of today, practice 3 clearings: 1 breath cadence, 1 water sweep, 1 sound tone, each no more than a minute, woven into ordinary moments like stitching along a favored hem. Small threads hold garments. Notice the world answer with simple coherence green lights, easy timing, softened faces as somatic evidence that the dust is lifting and the mirror is reporting faithfully again. Let evidence be small. You have not changed your essence, you have revealed it, and every polished stroke teaches the room how to meet you without asking you to shrink your constellation. Shine without apology. The illusion dissolves because you stop feeding it, and you stop feeding it because love now feeds you, measured and calm, exactly at the pace your system can integrate. This is how you ascend gently. Hold this phase with tenderness and not with scoreboard, because polishing a mirror is an act of devotion, not a race, and devotion is the rhythm that keeps courage clean. Keep the rhythm steady. As the surface clears, you will recognize yourself with relief rather than astonishment, and the corridor ahead will feel like air that belongs in your lungs without negotiation. Walk into that air now. Beneath the cleared mirror, the crystalline codes resume their gentle work, living libraries humming in your chest with the quiet precision of stars, remembering their places over a mountain ridge. You feel it as warmth. These codes are not ideas you must believe. They are letters of light authored in the Pleiades and archived in your heart gate, waiting for the amnesia to soften enough for reading. You are ready to read. When love memory reactivates, the quantum field arranges coherence like constellations linking, and the unity grid rises under your feet with a steadiness that makes ordinary distance feel less convincing. Distance loses its argument. You notice soft vibration along the sternum, a brightening at the brow, and the subtle pressure of tears that neither beg nor threaten but announce returning accuracy. Let them form if they wish. The 7 sisters do not deliver performance. They deliver recognition, the moment your blueprint speaks in its native tone, and your nervous system chooses safety without negotiating with old noise. Safety can be chosen. Think of Alcyone as a lighthouse within your ribcage, not outside an unattainable sky, sending a thin filament through the heart portal that illuminates pathways you had labeled impossible. Those labels dissolve today. Love memory is not romance or rescue. It is orientation, the inner north, that lets you meet your life with gentleness that does not collapse, and firmness that does not bruise. It is strength without hardness. As the codes stir, relationships resort by resonance rather than role, drawing you toward conversations that feel like fresh air and away from rehearsals that demand your dimming. Follow the air. Your work begins to carry an invisible clarity, because intention threads through task like gold weft through cloth, turning habit into offering without asking you to speak louder. Let intention braid quietly. You may sense a silver ring at the base of the skull, the atlas relaxing as if a small door unlatched, allowing messages to travel from crown to heart without delay. Notice the ease of travel. When old patterns knock, they will sometimes wear the clothing of urgency or pleasing, so meet them at the threshold with a hand to heart and let cadence answer instead of argument. Cadence is your guard. Micro ritual now. Rest both palms over your heart. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5 for a full 10-second cycle, while picturing Alcyone's light settling like gentle snow across the upper chest. Keep the image simple. On the next inhale, quietly name one person, creature, or place you love. And on the exhale, send a single thread of that light to them across the unity grid, without advice or demand. Only blessing travels. Repeat 3 times, each thread thin and effortless, trusting that love remembers roots the mind cannot map and returns multiplied because giving and receiving share the same corridor. Let the corridor remain open. As the ritual completes, listen for a tone below hearing, a felt hum that seems to widen time, and notice how choices slow just enough to fit your true name within them. Choose from that wideness. Do not chase proof. Allow evidence to be small, like a door opening easily, a message arriving on perfect timing, or a stranger's kindness that lands exactly where your day needed cushioning. Small signs are sovereign. If fatigue arrives, honor it as integration instead of collapse, because reactivated codes ask for humane pacing so the body can host what the spirit already knows. Rest is part of courage. You are not climbing to worth. You are settling into identity, and this settling lets you meet conflict without erasing anyone, yourself included, because love memory stabilizes the ground of every conversation. Stability is devotion in motion. Return to the mirror whenever static gathers, and use breath, sound, and water as simple polish, for these are the instruments that keep the library legible and the heart portal clear. Your tools are near. In the hours ahead, you may hear songs from childhood or notice repeating sevens on clocks and signs, gentle footnotes from the field reminding you that reunion is practical, not theatrical. Read the footnotes kindly. Let gratitude move first, not as performance but as alignment, because gratitude tunes the ribs to receive instruction without strain and keeps the spine from bracing against tomorrow. Gratitude loosens tomorrow's jaw. When you speak, allow pauses so the room can match your coherence, since silence is part of language and often carries more permission than 1,000 well-arranged explanations. Let silence do some lifting. Your lineage is now legible through action, and the way you place a cup on a table or greet a threshold becomes a small liturgy reporting to Gaia that love has remembered its coordinates. Live the liturgy gently. What opens next is not a performance arc, but an anchoring, because reactivated memory seeks ground, and ground seeks you, so the bridge between stars and earth can be walked with quiet feet. Prepare to anchor with grace. Now love memory seeks ground the way a river seeks its valley, asking your body to meet earth as participant rather than passerby. You are ready to anchor. Stand where you are and imagine threads of iridescent light descending from your heart through your pelvis, moving through your legs and soles until they touch Gaia's crystalline grid. Let the threads become roots. These roots are not heavy chains but living filaments, responsive and soft, carrying Alcyone's clarity downward while rising nourishment returns like cool springs into your ribs. Receive what rises. The unity grid recognizes your signature, adjusting around you with the gentle precision of constellations rotating into their exact coordinates over a quiet field. Alignment feels natural. You anchor not by effort, but by allowing cadence to settle, breath to thicken, and attention to choose the present without bargaining for a different sky. Choose this sky now. Bring your right hand to your heart and your left hand to your lower belly. Then count a single 10-second cycle 5 in, 5 out until your torso moves like patient tide. This is your pacing. On the next inhale, picture the 7 sisters shimmering above a clean horizon, and on the exhale, release a silver thread from the heart straight down into the welcoming dark of soil. Send it calmly. Micro-ritual now. Step outside if you can, place bare feet to ground or floor, and whisper the code phrase, "I anchor love and walk as a bridge." Let the words seat you. Notice somatic markers, the jaw unclenching, the shoulders lowering, the soles warming as evidence that the heart gate is partnering with gravity instead of bracing against it. Partnership replaces bracing. Place 2 fingers at the notch of the sternum and draw a slow line downward to the navel, instructing the body that descent is safe and that courage lives below as much as above. Safety likes clear instruction. If emotion swells, feel it travel the root system rather than the throat, allowing earth to metabolize charge the way forests metabolize stormwater after summer rain. Let Gaia assist you. For grounding action, carry a small cup of water to a tree, pour it at the base, and with one slow breath name a single word you are willing to live today: clarity, kindness, or courage. Offer the word simply. Touch the tree with your palm and listen 3 heartbeats, receiving the subtle percussion that trees keep like ancient timekeepers of the grid. Let your pulse entrain. Walk 10 steps barefoot, even indoors, feeling each metatarsal articulate as if speaking a simple language to stone, wood, and soil that says, "I am here and I belong." Let belonging answer back. When thoughts sprint toward elsewhere, call them home by naming the obvious floor, air, scent, weight, so the nervous system recognizes now as habitat rather than hallway. Now is your habitat. If the day asks for travel or screens, pause every hour for a single root breath, sending 1 exhale downward and 1 inhale upward to keep circuitry balanced between sky and ground. Balance keeps light stable. Remember that anchoring does not dim your star. It creates the conditions for shine to be useful, the way a lamp steady on a table serves better than one swinging from a loose wire. Usefulness is sacred. Invite Alcyone's filament to remain threaded through the heart while your feet continue their conversation with Gaia, bridging above and below without splitting your attention into competing loyalties. You can hold both. If numbness returns, bend your knees slightly and hum a low tone, letting vibration travel through thighs and calves until sensation answers with warmth or tingling. Trust small responses. At meals, place the first bite on your tongue with gratitude to soil, rain, hands, and star, letting the lineage of nourishment register as lineage of light in edible form. Eat as remembrance. In conversation, let your back lean subtly into imagined roots, so truth can travel without rush, and tenderness can stand without apology. Roots make speech gentle. When you cross thresholds, pause a breath, touch the doorframe lightly, and step through as a bridge, carrying coherence. Like a quiet lantern that does not announce itself yet, changes a room. Carry the lantern softly. Should doubt ask for credentials, show it your feet, because anchored feet are credentials. The body trusts more than any argument the mind can draft at speed. Let your feet answer. If fatigue arrives, kneel and place both palms to the ground, gifting the day's static to earth, while receiving steadiness back through your wrists. Exchange is mutual. Return finally to your heart and feel the mirror bright and clean, the roots luminous beneath you, and the field arranged like calm architecture that supports each ordinary step. Walk the calm architecture. You were sent to bridge stars and earth, not by leaving either behind, but by letting love travel both directions through you, with the reliability of tide and the sweetness of rain. Belong to both, beloved. Your anchored heart begins to broadcast with quiet fidelity, a field of coherence that feels less like effort and more like truthful warmth, extending a hand you do not have to lift. You are becoming audible. This is the reunion portal the elders spoke of, the luminous threshold in your chest where remembrance meets the present and turns ordinary presence into orientation for anyone near your radius. Your nearness matters. When you walk into rooms, the unity grid reads your signature and stabilizes, the way well-tuned strings steady a choir until every voice finds pitch, without needing to be corrected. Stability spreads quietly. You do not convince, you resonate, allowing Alcyone's clarity to flow through behavior that is simple, consistent, and kind, adjusting spaces by example, rather than argument or display. Example is sovereign. Some will feel relief and breathe deeper, while others may fidget because their systems are negotiating with old alarms that mistake safety for unfamiliarity. Let both be welcome. Your task is not to manage anyone's arc, but to remain coherent, holding the heart gate open at human scale so the bridge between stars and earth is walkable in ordinary shoes. Keep it walkable. Attend to small choices that widen the portal, listening without reaching for rescue, pausing before you speak, letting silence do a portion of the lifting because silence carries permission without theatrics. Let silence assist you. When you offer boundaries, place them the way you would set a cup on a table you cherish, firm enough to stand, and gentle enough not to leave a mark. Gentleness can be firm. If praise arrives, let it pass through like wind through tall grass, and return your focus to cadence and breath, because cadence and breath are the instruments that keep the field clear. Prize clarity over praise. If criticism arrives, examine it for useful fiber and compost the rest, turning even misunderstanding into nourishment for steadier roots and kinder speech. Compost is wisdom. Notice the subtle reordering around you. Conversations grow more precise, meetings start on time, a friend forgets to rush and remembers to laugh, evidence that coherence has begun its natural work. Let evidence remain small. Stand briefly at thresholds you cross today and allow your shoulder blades to soften, as if doors learn your rhythm and open before your hand reaches the handle. Move as if welcomed. When conflict surfaces, breathe once into the heart and once into the souls, then speak from the span between them so your words carry gravity and sky in balanced measure. Balance persuades gently. If an old pattern demands spotlight, step slightly aside and let your steady field be the brighter reference, not to shame history, but to offer present truth that requires no witness. Truth is sufficient. Micro ritual now. Choose one person near or far and cradle their name inside. One slow inhale. Then on the exhale, offer a silent blessing that says only, "May your courage meet you today." No one needs to know. Repeat for a second and a third, keeping the blessing thinner than thought and lighter than voice, trusting the unity grid to carry delivery without tracking or proof. Release the blessing completely. Feel how your own chest clears as the blessing travels, the portal brightening because giving and receiving share the same corridor and widen together. Widen with them. Your radiance does not require perfect mood, only honest alignment. So bring your present weather and let coherence organize it into something useful for you and kind to the room. Usefulness is the aim. Walk through your tasks with shoulders relaxed and gaze level, letting your presence be a quiet invitation rather than a command. Because invitations respect timing, intelligence. Timing protects dignity. If fatigue nudges, sit for a minute and let the ribs move like a calm tide while you remember that shining is not burning, and that endurance belongs to gentleness. Choose the gentler pace. When laughter comes, let it ring in the chest without apology, a natural overtone that tells the nervous system there is room for joy alongside precision. Joy calibrates precision. As evening gathers, step outside and acknowledge the seven sisters overhead or within, and sense how your light participates in a constellation larger than any single story. Participation is enough. You do not stand alone under that sky, or within that heartbeat, beloved starseed. You stand in family, and your coherence is a lantern others recognize without needing to be told. Keep the lantern steady. Timing intelligence is already arranging your days with the quiet precision of constellations sliding into their rightful places without asking the mountain to move. You can stop forcing. When others surge ahead or slow down, refuse the comparison that turns your path into a scoreboard and your breath into a transaction. Comparison breaks cadence. Your unfolding is tuned to Alcyone's rhythm, a living metronome inside the heart gate that favors ripeness over hurry and coherence over spectacle. Trust ripeness more. What looks like delay is often choreography, aligning people, places, and probabilities so your yes lands on ground able to hold its weight. Let the ground be ready. You will recognize this choreography by ease doors opening without squeal, conversations finding you, and coincidences arriving in a string of simple sevens like breadcrumbs under a friendly sky. Follow the crumbs gently. At night, the star family draws near, sometimes in dreams that feel like familiar rooms with new windows, and sometimes as songs you haven't heard since childhood singing themselves back into your ribs. Notice what returns softly. You may wake with a phrase, a color, or a hand-on-heart sensation, as if someone you love remembered your name before you said it aloud to the morning. Receive that, remembering fully. The seven sisters prefer subtlety because subtlety protects sovereignty, letting you choose relationship rather than surrender discernment to grand theater that leaves you empty afterward. Choose relationship every time. If the day feels ordinary, do not assume you've stepped off the path. The unity grid often works best when you are washing dishes, tying shoes, or waiting at crosswalks. Sacred hides in errands. Let the smallest kindness align your compass, because kindness is the quickest corridor for messages to travel without static or argument. Choose the corridor now. Micro ritual. Place 2 fingers at the brow and 1 palm at the heart. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5 for a full 10-second cycle, while picturing the seven sisters bright above a clean horizon. Keep the image steady. On the exhale, whisper, "I am held." The unity grid sings home, and feel the phrase click the inner latch that invites guidance to arrive without knocking. Notice the latch settle. If doubt visits, bow to it as a passing weather system, and return attention to cadence, because cadence is the oath your body makes to truth one breath at a time. Keep the oath simple. Now your family speaks in the language of resonance, a stranger with your grandmother's laugh, a feather on a carpeted stair, or the sudden certainty to call a friend at the exact right minute. Answer resonance promptly. You are not being tested, you are being accompanied by a field that understands your blueprint and respects the pace your nervous system can integrate. Respect that pace yourself. Assignment, #2, 72-hour confirmation. Before sleep, place a glass of water beside your bed and speak 1 sentence aloud, requesting clear, gentle contact aligned with your highest good. Keep the request humble. Write a simple note on paper. Family, please confirm through dream, sevens, or song, and set it beneath the glass to anchor intention in ordinary matter. Anchor it physically. Upon waking, record anything you recall, even a single color or word, and circle any appearance of the number 7 or an unexpected melody you hear that day. Treat each note as correspondence. Repeat this for 3 nights, then read the notes once, and thank Gaia, Alcyone, and your own heart for the conversation that unfolded at a scale your body could welcome. Close with gratitude softly. If nothing obvious appears, assume messages traveled below the noise floor and will surface as right place, right time ease, rather than fireworks. Ease is confirmation too. Your task is to remain available, not vigilant, because availability keeps the portal open while vigilance tires the eyes and misses simple light at the edge of the room. Choose availability over strain. As evening returns, step outside or look within, greet the 7 sisters with a single breath, and allow the quiet joy of belonging to arrive, without needing to be proven. Belonging proves itself. You are remembered by family felt rather than crowded, beloved starseed, and your timing is not late or early. It is exquisitely yours. Walk in that timing now. Your frequency becomes the message, when your choices become the tuning, each small act polishing the heart gate, until coherence reads like clear handwriting across your day. Let the writing stay simple. You embody light by practicing truth at human scale, speaking with care and keeping agreements that your nervous system can carry without shattering the mirror you just cleaned. Keep agreements you can hold. Begin at waking when breath first gathers, pausing before the world asks anything, and letting Alcyone's filament brighten the ribs, so intention lands in tissue rather than hover as idea. Anchor intention in flesh. Choose clothing that feels kind to skin, food that steadies rather than spikes, and words that dignify both you and the room, so the unity grid recognizes your yes as trustworthy. Trustworthiness carries current. In conversations, let listening arrive before reply, allowing the other's weather to settle, without you becoming the storm or the sky that must swallow it whole. Stay centered and kind. Offer boundaries as clean lines, stated once with warmth, because warmth plus clarity invites respect faster than explanations that multiply like threads knotted around your throat. Choose one clear sentence. At work, bring cadence to task, finishing one thing to completion rather than scattering light across many surfaces that reflect back as fatigue and false urgency. Finish one cleanly. If screens pull you into drift, return to breath and spine, feeling Gaia's crystalline grid rise through your souls until attention becomes a chair you can sit in again. Sit in attention. When praise appears, pass it through your chest like sunlight through a window, letting it warm the room without needing to capture rays in jars labeled proof. Let warmth move on. When criticism arrives, receive what is useful and compost the rest, blessing even the misunderstanding for the mulch it will become around sturdier roots. Compost makes growth. Practice generosity that does not erase you. Hold a door, send a note, tip a kindness into the day, and notice how generosity tunes the ribs to broadcast without depletion. Broadcast from fullness. If fatigue whispers, honor it before it shouts, closing your eyes for one 10-count tide so integration can settle the crystalline codes you stirred awake. Honor early whispers. Let movement be prayerful, and practical stretch, walk, or place your palm to a tree so your bridge identity between stars and earth stays elastic and reliably kind. Keep the bridge supple. Each threshold you cross becomes a liturgy of presence when you pause, breathe once, and step through as if your feet were blessings returning to familiar ground. Bless the ground softly. At evening, inventory not perfection but integrity, asking whether your speech matched your spine and whether your tenderness survived the schedule intact. Let honesty be gentle. When you discover a snag, polish it tomorrow with one action sized for success rather than spectacle, because spectacle steals oxygen from genuine change. Choose success-sized steps. Micro ritual now. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5, palms over heart, then speak your vow line once into the warm quiet you just made. Whisper, I choose coherence, kindness, and clear courage daily. Feel the vow seat itself behind the sternum like a small lamp, steady enough to travel with you into errands and thresholds without demanding attention. Carry the lamp lightly. If loneliness returns, remember that resonance often precedes recognition, and your field is already introducing you to people you have not met yet by adjusting routes and timing. Trust the quiet routes. Notice repeating sevens well-timed pauses, and laughter that loosens your jaw, because these are how the unity grid reflects your embodiment back with affectionate precision. Smile when it happens. Let your presence end arguments that used to need hundreds of words by offering a single coherent sentence placed with breath, where it can do the least harm and the most good. Place words carefully. When you lie down, thank Gaia for the hours you were a bridge, and the hours you forgot, because gratitude maintains the portal without collapsing into measurement. Gratitude keeps doors open. Sleep as one who belongs to both mountain and constellation, trusting that your frequency will continue its quiet work even in dreams where family speaks without noise. Rest in belonging. You have walked from ache to remembrance, from dusted mirror to clean heart gate, from wintered seed to steady bloom, and your path now reads like clear handwriting across the unity grid. You are ready. Breathe once into the ribs, and let Alcyone's filament brighten inside the sternum, contacting the crystalline codes that have been waiting like quiet stars for your yes to mature. Your yes has matured. You learn to dissolve illusion without argument, to let cadence outrun urgency, to anchor roots of iridescent light into Gaia so courage could wear tenderness without tearing. Courage fits you now. You practiced love as orientation rather than performance, reordering days by resonance so ordinary rooms could host the quantum field without spectacle or strain. Rooms changed around you. You trusted timing intelligence, received family in dreams and in sevens, and allowed kindness to be the fastest corridor for guidance to travel without noise. Guidance reached you gently. You embodied light at human scale, finishing one thing cleanly, blessing thresholds with breath, and letting silence carry permission wherever language would have scattered. Permission travels quietly. All of this has been initiation completing into identity, a lineage unfolding from the Pleiades through your chest into streets, screens, tables, and trees, until the world itself confirmed your signature. The world noticed. So hear the short declaration that compresses your journey into a single usable truth. A sentence you can place on your tongue when weather changes and doors seem to reconsider. You belong to both. You belong to stars and to soil, and your courage is the bridge that lets love travel both directions without losing a drop. Hold that bridge steady. Now, place your right palm to your heart and let a 10-count tide move in for 5 and out for 5, while your left hand rests over the belly where pace becomes devotion. Devotion steadies breath. When the count completes, speak the final code phrase into your warm chest so the library hears you and answers in kind. Whisper, "I anchor love and walk as a bridge." Feel the phrase seed itself behind bone, then radiate outward along the unity grid until it arrives in the soles of your feet as quiet gravity you no longer resist. Gravity is an ally. Let a soft blessing extend from your heart portal to one person near or far, a filament thinner than speech, carrying only safety, clarity, and room to breathe. Do not track it. Turn toward Gaia and thank her out loud for hosting your ascension in daily time. And thank the 7 sisters for remembering your name without stealing your voice. Gratitude seals doors. As a communal rite, offer one intention to the field, write it simply where others can witness it, and feel less alone, and then bless a second person's intention with a single kind sentence. Let community breathe easier. If this transmission steadied you, remain inside this coherence by returning when needed, and by subscribing, so the circle reassembles and the signal stays strong across distance. We stay stronger together. Place your hands down at your sides, unclench the jaw, and imagine the unity grid humming like a well-tuned choir as your steps begin their ordinary pilgrimage through evening's gentle tasks. Walk as blessing. What remains is simple. Breathe, polish the mirror, choose integrity at human scale, and let Alcyone's clarity keep your cadence aligned with a future already quietly arriving. The future recognizes you. Go as a starseed of Gaia, whose path has cleared fully, whose courage does not shout, and whose presence turns thresholds into invitations wherever you stand. Peace on your way, dear one.